In 1951, when the bill was passed by the legislature to create the Tennessee Bureau of Criminal Investigation, I was a corporal assigned to the Highway Patrol here in Nashville. There had been several attempts to set up a state police or investigative agencies before. Since Tennessee didn't have a Department of Justice like some other states, the agency was set up under the Department of Safety. The Bureau had only 6 agents when it started, and I was one of the first. Actually, I was the first. I was asked by the Bureau's first director, Joe Boyd Williams, to be one of the 2 agents assigned to Middle Tennessee. Sam Neal, who was Commissioner of Safety at the time, also contacted me to see if I had an interest in the position. A.T. Ellis, who was also a state trooper, joined me, and together we were supposed to cover 38 counties. In East Tennessee, Trooper Ken Shelton and former Chief Charles Easley represented the Bureau. The last of the 6 original agents who were hired were Bob Ezell and Roger Kennan, who were assigned to West Tennessee. When we first started, we had no guns, no badges, no cars. For the first 3 months, we helped out the directors setting up the file system in the old Cotton States building. As the Bureau grew, we moved to Cordell Hall building and then to the Andrew Jackson building. By October 1951, we got our first cars. They were Pontiacs, and A.T. Ellis and myself had to share a car. He lived in Madison, and I lived in Nashville. So we took turns picking each other up. Eventually we got badges and guns and a notepad. And I believe we had to furnish our own pens. That was our equipment. We had THP radios, but coverage was very spotty. Sometimes you had to drive up to the top of a hill to get a signal. Usually we depended on the telephone for contact and built up a relationship with the sheriffs and police in our territory. The first request we received in Middle Tennessee was to work a murder case in Clay County. A man had been tied to a tree, shot, and left to die out in the woods. We did solve the case, though, and our Coleman Roberts was arrested for the crime, and he was from Missouri. He was playing that old money-making scheme. We really had no training, and we just winged it the best way we could. But the director was determined that he was going to make something of the Bureau, and he sent everybody the first few years to the FBI Academy. I went through that training in 1952. The Bureau also began to add more personnel, Judson Gann, Archie Ham as fingerprint examiners, then later Ambrose Moss. Moss went on to be one of our first narcotic investigators, and later the supervisor. Bud Hopkins worked for the FBI then and was well thought of. And A.T. Ellis and myself went to the then Governor Franklin and asked him to consider hiring Mr. Hopkins to serve as director of the Bureau because we thought he could be an asset to the new agency. One of the most memorable cases I worked on was a murder of restaurant owner Sailor Anderson near Columbia, Tennessee. He was found dead, wrapped in a carpet, floating in the Tennessee River when a tugboat operator spotted something in the water. Everyone thought he carried a lot of money, so we suspected robbery. The murderer turned out to be a one-armed cab driver whose girlfriend was Janelle Brown and who was a key witness. I worked all over the state during my career and worked when we had the coal mine strikes in Tennessee. In fact, I was up there about 5 months. I retired from the Bureau in 1974. But before I left, I was able to see my son, Bill Coleman, Jr., join the Bureau as an agent. They used to always get us mixed up, and he would get my retirement statement, and I'd get his. And I finally told him one day that one of us was going to have some relief, and that I was going to retire. So we did just that. We, I guess, the only father and son pair, I guess, that ever worked for the Bureau. We both went to the FBI Academy, And I can stand corrected on that, but I believe that Bill Jr. and myself were the only father and son team. He went on in 1971, I retired in 1974, and we never actually worked together because he was assigned to narcotics division until later on, and he was really an agent. But I just wanted to say here that I enjoyed my time with the Bureau, and I'm proud of the Bureau, and I love the Bureau. And I thank you.